like, why don't we have something that's just easy like French fries? When you think about when people want to eat potatoes, they don't go and buy raw potatoes. They literally just buy, French fries. And the reason why it doesn't be done, obviously, is because yam doesn't grow in the West. So obviously, if it did, they'll probably have, solved that problem. So for me, it was about solving an African problem. I didn't want to import a problem. I didn't want to import the solution. I wanted to have like a very, Nigerian problem that I was solving, because by nature I'm an entrepreneur. So
Hi guys, you're welcome to another super exciting episode of the Junction podcast powered by TAO. And I'm your host with the most, the blackest girl in your neighborhood, Black Speaker. And you know now, as usual, I'm never alone in the studio. I have another special guest in the studio. I'd like a drum roll, but then let me manage it. So with me today in the studio is Leky Mills. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Well, it's not Leky Mills that is in the studio, but
Fine.
it's Darren that is in the studio representing.
Were you wearing a Lekky?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm good. Nice to finally be here.
So,
Thanks for having me, first of all. My name is Derinsola Adebayo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Leky Mills. Well, Leky Mills is an agro-processing company
okay.
based in Lagos. And, our forte is, adding values to yams. And, we're a young manufacturing company. I know you don't hear that a lot, but yeah, that's pretty much us in a nutshell, basically.
So you chose Leky Mills because you're based in Lekky. Lekky big boys.
Funny enough, we're not based in Lekky. Our plant is in Ikeja, actually.
Okay.
But the company was inspired by the people of Lekky. I live in Lekky. No, it did have to do with something with Lekky.
Okay.
And it was just inspired by young people. Lekky is filled with youthful guys, and I just felt like what we're doing just sort of embodied those, that concept of youthfulness and modernity, and just like starting something fresh, because Lekky is like a very
Fresh place.
fresh place.
Oh wow. I need
No
to
offense, no offense to it.
many offense taken.
No offense to any other place, but yeah.
So, what is yam processing? Because I think that's what you're into. What's yam processing?
Pretty much for me
Okay.
and for us at Leky Mills, yam is such a very hard crop to cut. It's also very ugly.
Okay.
And I just felt like, it shouldn't be something that you buy and take to your house,
That's the stress about it.
because of the stress about it, and just because you carry it to your house and you have to put it on the floor and it's filled with sand and you have termites crawling in and out.
True.
And for me, it was just how can we process this, put it in a bag and make it easy for folks to eat?
Okay.
So for us, it was about just adding values to it
Helping out.
and helping out, cutting that stress of, peeling and cutting,
Mm-hmm.
and cutting that time out as well. Because again, Lekky people are fast-paced life, so we don't have too much time to, be peeling.
Down.
And cutting, that kind of thing. You don't want your girl to be peeling and cutting.
Oh wow. Okay.
So obviously, we try to make it easy for folks. So it's such a very simple idea, but it's such a very efficient product.
Yeah.
So you buy our Lekky yams from supermarket, Ibano, wherever,
Okay.
and you put in your freezer so it lasts longer as well. So you can store it for a year, And if you want to eat it, just throw it inside water or just throw it inside oil, and boom,
Food is ready.
food is ready.
So I thought about it, yeah? There is rice, there is beans, there is other foods, or you picked yam and you just said it's hard.
Right.
Why did you pick yam?
Okay, so I'll tell you the story.
Okay. And there's always a story, I'm here. Feel for it.
was a story.
Yeah, there always is.
COVID, and I was locked up with my brothers, and one of our friends also came to the house. So it was about 4 of us guys, and I was the youngest guy, and I wasn't the cook. They were like guys that could cook. I would typically do like dishes, which I don't mind doing.
The last one, I guess.
Last born.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I would cook, or when anybody would cook, you have to cook for everybody.
Okay.
So I thought about it. Whenever I want to make anything, it's like yam is always the last thing because nobody knows to cut yam for 4 people. And I just thought about it. I'm like, I really like yam. Yam is one of my favorite meals. Pounded yam and efo, or yam and egg sauce. Those are my 2 favorite food. So I just thought about it, and I was like, hey, like, why don't we have something that's just easy, like French fries? When you think about when people want to eat potatoes, they don't go out and buy raw potatoes. They literally just buy, French fries. And
true.
The reason why it doesn't be done, obviously, is because yam doesn't grow in the West. So obviously, if you did, they'll probably have, solved that problem. So for me, it was about solving an African problem. I didn't want to import a problem. I didn't want to import the solution. I wanted to have like a very, Nigerian problem that I was solving, because by nature I'm an entrepreneur. So I was looking to start a business during that period. So that just sort of, aligned properly, and I just started it.
That's a very sweet story. It reminds me of someone I used to know. She started to sell blazers because it was always hard for her to get blazers her size. So she got tailors to start making blazers, and now she's big on it.
Yes.
What do I want? I have to think about it. Okay. So how's it been so far? The entire young process, how's it been?
It's been an interesting journey because obviously there are not a lot of young folks like us doing manufacturing and processing. Who want to go into tech, which I used to be in.
Techie, yeah?
Yeah, I used to be in the tech space, design guy. But for me, I moved back from America in 2018.
Okay.
And my brother started his company called Split, which I sort of joined and, helped build. And I left because I wanted to start my own thing.
Okay.
I felt like, Nigeria has so much problems. However, there are problems, there's solutions.
Yeah, there has to be.
Right. And I really just felt like if I can solve a Nigerian problem, so whatever field it was in, I didn't mind. So
for Nigeria.
Yeah. So whatever field, even if it was like medical, because I have no agro processing background. I'm an architect and a designer by training. So for me, it was just like, if I can solve a problem in Nigeria, I feel like I'll be successful. And this was a clear problem, and I felt like, why not? It's about solving Nigerian problems for me.
Okay.
It's not about, because a lot of, tech guys or whatever, they sort of import, problems or solutions from the West, but those ideas exist on infrastructure, and we don't have that infrastructure here for those ideas to actually really work.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like, at least yam is a problem that every Nigerian faces.
Trust me, every Nigerian.
Exactly. So why not just go and
solve that problem?
Yeah.
So what does it take to fund the yam processing business?
What does it take to fund? A lot.
Like, that's a million.
Millions actually. Because it's manufacturing, is very capital intensive.
Okay.
It's not tech where, you get 4 people to start building software. Here you have to buy yam every week or every month because they have to process yam every month. So I remember in very early stages when we just started in this like 2-bedroom apartment. There were days where we didn't have yam to cut, like a yam company. was interesting, but
So you just process it. You don't farm yam. You don't farm.
So we created something called Leky Farmers Network, which is like a backward integration program,
Okay.
which is to sort of aggregate a couple of farmers, and sort of build that community of yam farmers. So without a doubt, we have to be in that space.
Yes, I thought about that too.
I've been to Benue a couple of times to see, what the yam, there is like, just to get more education on the crop as well. So I got to meet farmers, got to go to the farmlands, got to understand their problems and how we can help them solve their problems. So Leky Farmers Network is sort of like a network program.
So that Lekky name is here to stay.
Oh, it's here to stay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, it's here.
So what are the yams processed into?
So they are processed into yam chips and like chips, like fries.
First?
Like fries and
We always had a potato chip.
Yeah, exactly. They're processed into fries and sticks, so you can boil it.
Okay.
Or you can fry it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of all those you mentioned, which is popular? Which one do you make more sales from?
I'll say yam chips.
I'll totally do yam chips because I've always heard of potato chip, plantain chip, but never heard of yam chip.
Yeah.
I think we should try it.
French fries.
Oh, nice. So what type of yam do you process? Because I know there is white, purple,
white.
The white. Yeah.
It was as to white. White and sweet.
All right. So what's the market like? I mean, my mom would go to the market and buy her yam and chop it. Even with all the hardness. So what's the market like?
It's because it's a new concept and it's a new product.
Okay, we're still very new.
We're just 3 years into this.
Yeah, almost not that new.
Well, I mean, 3 years is still a young
company. Yeah, 3-year-old babies.
Yeah.
Still looking at that. Okay.
We're just starting to walk now and, talk a little bit, but we're still pretty young. So it's still a lot of education, marketing that has to go in and, convincing.
Adverts, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difficult part about the business? What's the very difficult part about the business?
I think the most difficult part is, the lack of like infrastructure, in place. So from, the backward integration, there's no proper infrastructure for yam farmers,
okay.
So it's hard for them to actually like plant high quality yams, which inevitably helps affects the processing.
Yeah.
And then from the road network and supply chain, the infrastructure for transportation isn't that great as well. And then infrastructure for electricity isn't that great as well. And then infrastructure for distribution isn't that great as well. So a lot of challenges that obviously ideally the government, should be helping us, which by God's grace they are doing their bit. So we just have to sort of do some of these things that ideally we shouldn't be doing. Like electricity, if there was constant supply, we wouldn't be spending so much money on generators because our products have to be frozen, pretty much all the time.
Okay, so I was going to ask questions about how the difficulties on getting your raw materials, but I think you already answered that.
Yeah, the difficulties of getting raw materials. Now yams have become very expensive because the farmers, because of insecurities, they don't plant as much. So one of the reasons why, I felt like it was the right idea, to pursue as well was Nigeria produces the most yam in the world.
Yes, very true.
And I think at some point it became not just a great idea, but a great mission for me personally.
Okay.
In the sense that any country that is producing 70% of anything should be adding as much value to it and just selling into the world. That's what great countries do.
Yeah, true.
So when I found that out, that we produce 70% of all the yams in the world, that yam is such a it's not a product that you have to have a special taste bud to eat. It's literally like yam that Oyinbos would like. Yeah, people will like. Everybody will like.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, it was like, why not add as much value to it and make it as attractive as possible for people to actually like want to eat more yams. So obviously, just from that perspective, for me, it was like a great mission to help farmers like, you know, plant better quality yam and plant more yams, you know, because like other countries were taking some market share in terms of production wise. So for us, it was about, you know, how can we help farmers, you know, improve on their, you know, planting, because, you know, there's like, you know, there's a lot of, you know, climate change, and these farmers need to be educated about that, and they need machinery to, you know, do irrigation farming, all of these things. So for us as an organization, it's about how can we get to that point where we're actually helping, you know, our farmers network to plant, you know, higher quality yams.
So there are seasons for some fruits and some things. Do the yam have seasons? So when that season comes, there's no more Lekky.
No, we plant all year. We process all year round.
So 2 for 10.
2 for 10.
You did for us.
We did. Which is the advantage.
Oh, nice. So what is the one thing that you wish the government could solve?
The one thing. Electricity.
It'll really help.
Man, there's so many things. Man.
One thing, I know there's a lot of it, but like the one thing that the government will solve now that would really help, Leky Mills. Okay.
Give me 2 things.
Okay,
exactly. Two things, perfect. I'll say insecurity and electricity. So there's 2 things. Yeah, there's no stopping Nigeria from being the absolutely like greatest country.
Okay, so I'm a young person and I want to go into food processing, not maybe not yam processing, but food processing. What are the 2 things I should know before venturing into that thing? I know you're going to say funding.
No,
Okay.
not really.
Okay.
2 things you should know is why do you want to do it?
Okay.
Right. You always have to start with,
why am I doing this thing?
You always have to start with why.
So
There's a book I just finished reading which sort of helped me understand even better. Simon Sinek starts with why. So for you to start agro processing, you have to ask yourself, why do I want to start this?
Okay.
If you want to, if it's about making money, you probably want to start something else, because this is a very patient, you know, industry. The second thing is, what would I say the second thing should be? With whom do I want to do this with?
Okay. You need a partner.
Yes, more than anything, people help you build great companies. You know, without people, you know, just forget it, because I would have never built Leky Mills on my own. So you might have a fantastic idea, but if you don't have someone else that shares those values with you, you probably wouldn't go as far as you should go. So those 2 things, start with the why and with who.
So do you think growing yam is a viable economic option for a young person?
Absolutely, and that's where we want to get to.
Well,
with Leky Mills, the vision is to get to a point where young people can feel like if they grow yam, there's a company that they can sell it to, because there's a company that's processing that amount of yams, and we always need yam. The vision is, and not just the vision, by God's grace, like we're going to get to a point where we're going to have, you know, truckloads of yams just lining up to our factories just to sell and just to drop for us, because there's a company that's like specialty like yam. So for us, it's like, how can we get younger people to feel like if they have any small land in their state or in their country or in their backyard, you know, they can just like plant yam and make money from it, because there's a direct off-taker with like Leky Mills.
So you're big on agriculture then?
Absolutely. So without like 90% of our cost is in yam, so there's inevitably, agriculture, farming. Those are things that excite me personally. And again, like you said, I look a certain way, and I'm glad I get to push a different sort of narrative.
Yeah.
I say, hey, look at me, like I'm kind of cool, and I'm into like.
I think the Gen Zs will say agriculture is for old people. I was talking to a lot of people, like some people at GTCO, and spoke to some people that said that they think agriculture is for poor and old.
Right, which is what I like about Agromo, the changing narrative.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how do we follow you? Where do we get to see your product? Can you tell us?
Okay, so you can follow us on all social media at Leky Mills, which is LEKYMILL.
Lekky.
On all social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all spaces.
Socials, what is social on X?
Yeah, on X.
Okay.
Right, and then you can find us in all the Evanos and
stores.
All the Evano stores, Blanco. And by any chance you order yam chips from Chicken Republic, is Leky Yams.
I think I should laugh at Lekky. I read somewhere that Nigeria might soon start to import yam, and I heard that we are one of the biggest producers or farmers of yam. So why are we importing yam?
Right. Well, I heard that story as well. Again, I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but if it's confirmed, then it's I find it ridiculous. I think the problem is maybe not the amount of yams we produce, is the quality that we produce. So maybe they're trying to import higher quality seedlings, to help us to improve on our quality. Maybe that's what it is. But if it's a question of the quantity, we have that. If it's a question of the quality, then that's.
Okay, so why don't we export then, since we are the largest farmer?
Right, I'll give you some education on that.
All right, please, cool me.
So for the longest time, people don't even know this, but it was actually illegal to export yams. Well, until probably just a couple of years ago, it was actually legal to export yams. I think they probably wanted, our yams to be, consumed locally, promote like local sustainability and, whatever. But recently they sort of took out that ban, and now you can actually export yams.
Oh no!
Out of Nigeria. We currently do it because we're in the UK as well. So we're not just in Nigeria, but we're also exporting to the UK. So we're the first company to actually do that. And
that's nice.
It's nice because we got the report from NAFDAC that out of 10 containers that leave the shores of Nigeria, 7 containers get rejected. So when we got in, we felt like that was like good, validity for our product and our company. So yeah.
So this is a personal question, yeah?
Please.
When my mom goes to sends me to get her yam, she said, I don't want new yam, I don't want new yam, I want the old yam. Why is that? Do you use the...
Yeah, old yam and new yam. Yeah, so new yam basically is just the yam that they just harvested, so it has a lot of water content.
Oh.
It's not as sweet.
Sweet as the old stuff.
Obviously, as time goes, and then it
becomes an old... I get it now. All right, guys, like I like to say, you learn something new every time you join the Junction podcast. You know what to do. Follow us on all our social media platforms, and don't forget to subscribe. See you some other time. Take care.